All right, so if you've bought a home in the last couple of years, you've been on a roller coaster with these mortgage rates, right? They go up, they go down, and it probably has you wondering, is now the right time to refinance? We're going to break it all down, look at the simple math, and figure out what questions you really need to be asking yourself.
This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Everybody wants a simple yes or no. But the truth is, the right answer is all about you, your loan, your house, and your plans.
But don't worry, there's a really straightforward way to think about this. A simple rule of thumb that helps cut through all the noise and get right to the point. People call it the golden rule of refinancing, and it's pretty simple. It's only a good deal if the money you save on interest is more than what you're paying in fees to get the new loan. And crucially, you have to plan on being in that house long enough for those savings to actually pile up and cover the upfront cost. So it really boils down to two key things. First, can you lock in a new rate that's at least 0.5% or even better, a full 1% lower than what you have now? And second, do you see yourself staying put long enough to make it worth it? If you can nod your head yes to both of those, well, you're definitely in the ballpark.
Okay, so theory is great and all, but let's make this super practical. The best way to know for sure is to just run the numbers and find what's called your break-even point. Let's do it together.
To figure this out, you're going to need four pieces of the puzzle. You need to know your current rate versus what a lender is offering you today. You need to know how much equity you have. That can affect your new loan. And of course, the big two, what are the closing costs? And honestly, how long are you planning to live there? So let's use an example. Say you've got a $400,000 mortgage. Your current rate is 6.9%. You get a quote for a new loan at 6.3%. Now, that might not sound like a huge drop, but let's see what it does to your monthly payment. Turns out that little rate drop puts an extra $76 back in your wallet every single month. Hey, that's not nothing. Over a year, that's real money. But that's not the whole story.
And here's the other side of the coin, the closing costs. Remember, refinancing isn't free. There are fees involved. For our example, let's just say they come out to about $5,000. So the question is, how long will it take for that $76 a month to pay back that $5,000?
And here's the answer. 65 months. Think about that for a second. That's more than 5 years just to get back to zero. You don't actually start saving a dime until after that 5-year mark. This quote really hits the nail on the head. The math is just math. The real question is personal. It's about your life. If you think you might move for a new job in 3 years, then a 5-year break-even point means this refinance is actually a bad deal for you. Okay, so that's the personal side of the equation. But let's zoom out. We should also look at what the experts are predicting for mortgage rates. This can help you decide if you should jump now or maybe wait a little bit. So here's what Fannie Mae, one of the biggest names in the game, is forecasting. They see rates kind of hovering around 6.4% through 2025. Then, maybe, just maybe, they might dip down to around 5.9% in 2026. So what's the big takeaway here? Well, it's that nobody is really predicting a massive nosedive in rates anytime soon. The general idea is that they're going to hang out in this mid-6% range for a while. So waiting for some magical return to 3%, that's probably not a winning strategy right now. All right, let's put it all together. We've got your personal break-even math, and we've got the market forecast. So what's the final verdict? Should you do it or not? It really seems to break down into two main paths. If your current rate is way up there, we're talking in the 7s or higher, you should absolutely be running the numbers today. A refinance could make a lot of sense for you right now. But if your rate is already pretty close to that mid-6 range, it might be smart to just hang tight and see if you can snag a better deal early next year. But look, no matter which of those sounds more like you, here is your single best first step. Call your lender, talk to a professional, ask them to run these exact numbers for your specific loan. That's how you get out of hypotheticals and into real data you can actually use to make a smart decision. Because at the end of the day, the math itself is pretty simple, isn't it? But the real answer, the one that truly matters, isn't found on a spreadsheet. It's all about that one question. How long are you planning to call that house your home?